It's always a risky proposition to do a remake of a classic. Willy Wonka, Coke, Michael Jackson. The list of failures is long and depressing. So I was more than a little skeptical when XCOM Enemy Unknown was announced. I loved the original, played it multiple times at countless hours back in the day. That Firaxis was the company doing this allayed me somewhat, but I couldn't shake the feeling that this would be another notch on the list of bad, unnecessary remakes. I love it when I'm wrong. The new XCOM is a game that gets it right. It feels true to the original, but heavily modified for modern consumption. Let's face it, there's a tiny market these days for games that require complex math, just to figure out if you can move and fire in the same turn. As with the original, XCOM starts with the world under attack from an unknown alien menace. UFOs scour the globe, abducting humans, and your job as commander of the Global Extraterrestrial Combat Division is to push them off our planet. There are two parts to this game, base building and combat. When you aren't in combat, you're building up your base, hiring and promoting soldiers, researching alien tech, and constructing satellites, ships, and weapons to use against the enemy. This aspect of the game is very streamlined from the original, and may turn off some of the more ardent old-school fans of the series. In terms of this game though, I think it works. It allows you to customize for your combat style without getting too bogged down in minutia. Then there's combat. Whether you get an alert about alien abductions, get sent on a special mission, or shoot down a UFO that was spotted by your satellites, you'll often find yourself with boots on the ground. 8 to 12 boots to be exact. And combat is where this game really shines. Everything is still turn-based, but the old action point system has been replaced with a more streamlined, intuitive move-fire system. The high-level graphics flesh out the battlefield nicely, with an emphasis placed on destructible objects. There's nothing like that feeling of dread when the wall you were safely behind crumbles in a flash of plasma rifle fire. And death is permanent, or at least as permanent as the last save game. Soldiers just don't fall asleep and wake up after combat. They actually die. Pretty easily. If you're not careful, it's easy to lose that kernel you've spent hours building up because you forgot to move them from a burning car before it exploded. The attachment and subsequent loss you feel for these men and women is something rare in modern gaming. Now that I've built it up, let me move it next to a burning car for a second. The PC version I played on had some very annoying interface bugs, most of the time on maps with multiple levels. Just seeing your character is a pain. Selecting the square you want them to move to is almost impossible in some cases. You'll find yourself pixel hunting at points and frustrated when they move to a position above or below where you wanted them to go. That said, these are minor frustrations to an otherwise stellar game. Hardcore fans might have issues with the simplicity of the controls, kinda like how some view Civilization 5, but most should have a blast with this game. I highly recommend it, though if you'll be playing on the PC, you might want to wait for the first round of patches. Seriously, Tim Burton needs to stop making remakes.